Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. President Marcos flew to Albay on Wednesday to check on the condition of thousands of residents displaced by Mayon's eruption. Over 5,000 families or 19,000 residents have been evacuated so far. In a situation briefing in Legazpi City, local officials discussed with Marcos the current activities of Mayon, the situation of the evacuees, and the province's preparations should there be a hazardous eruption. The president recommended the allocation of a 200 million peso fund for the local government's 90-day disaster response. Marcos also ordered authorities to prepare for aid, both food and non-food items like hygiene kits, to last for 90 days.
Mabuti na yung matapos na mas maaga kaysa sa anticipated, kaysa mabitin naman ang ating bigay. Tignan talaga natin kung ano yung kailangan.
The PhilVox says there's a possibility of them further expanding the danger zone to the 8-kilometer radius from the current 7 should alert level 4 be raised in Mayon. In the past 24 hours, 7 volcanic earthquakes and over 300 rockfall events have been recorded. Still, PhilVox notes that the volcano's sulfur emissions remain low.
Well, ang lumalabas kasi na asupre ay mababa ang bilang. So, wala pa tayo nakikita na ganun kataas. Kailangan niyong isipin ng explosivity ng isang bulkan ay nakasalalay sa dami ng gas na nasa loob ng magma.
A Chinese Navy vessel has docked in the Philippines for the first time in 5 years. The ship Shi Jiguang of China's People's Liberation Army dropped its anchor in Manila in a goodwill visit yesterday. The Philippine Navy says the visit is proof of strong ties between China and the Philippines, despite territorial disputes in the West Philippine Sea. However, the Philippine Navy assures that it will treat the visit the same as any other countries. International Affairs analyst Renato De Castro reinforced the idea of the visit symbolizing the continued friendship between the two countries. However, De Castro says this does not erase China's unjustified actions towards the Philippines when it comes to the West Philippine Sea.
China is doing one thing, having this gesture, but on the larger picture, China is doing a different action that, of course, casts doubt on whether China is actually sincere when it comes to trying to, of course, earn our goodwill.
Despite this, De Castro also agreed with President Bongbong Marcos' earlier statement that the Philippines should not cut its ties with China.
We have problems with China, we have issues with China, but at the end of the day, we have to deal with China simply because China is a neighbor. China, of course, is a big power in the region.
A court in Leyte allows self-confessed drug trafficker Kerwin Espinosa and 4 others to post bail. The Leyte court granted bail of 700,000 pesos each for Espinosa and 4 others over an illegal drug case in Eastern Visayas. According to the court, the prosecution failed to prove that Espinosa and the others accused were guilty. However, even if Espinosa had posted bail, he will remain detained in Taguig. This as he still faces 2 non-bailable drug cases in the Manila Regional Trial Court. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Most private Catholic school students reject the proposal to revive the mandatory ROTC program. An online survey conducted by the country's largest association of private schools show that 53% of students disagree with bringing back mandatory ROTC, with 32% expressing strong disagreement. 28% agreed with the proposal, while 19% are undecided. The Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines conducted this poll from April 3 to 24. CEAP says the purpose of the survey is to get the collective opinion of students on their proposed mandatory ROTC bill and its possible influence on them, their education, and their future. The Kabataan Party List welcomes the results of this survey, saying that it reveals the true opinion of the youth on mandatory ROTC. The Senate Defense, Higher Education, and Finance Committees have approved the bill despite concerns among youth groups over past abuses by cadets in the program.
The content of our position is not to enact the mandatory ROTC. Anong mga dahilan? Number one, it is not necessary. I think the CEP believes that there are sa panahon ngayon, there are a lot of issues that our government should also mag-focus doon. Pangalawa, making it mandatory, nawawalan ng kalayaan yung mga kabataan natin na pumili. And of course, yung threats of abuse and corruption must be addressed.
The Trade Department says online selling platforms like Shopee or Lazada will be held equally liable as their vendors who sell deceptive or defective products. According to Undersecretary Ruth Castello, the top complaint of customers are deceptive sales. These are the products being sold by sellers look different when they get to the customers. She said among the complaints they received were from online purchasers of expensive mobile phones and other gadgets who instead received boxes containing wet wipes, rocks, or toilet paper. This violates the Consumer Act, which online platforms may be held accountable for and could pay up to 300,000 pesos in fines. Last week, Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascual called for an explanation from the two largest online platforms, Shopee and Lazada, due to the rampant complaints of deceptive sales.
Kung individual merchant lang siya na nasa labas, siya lang po mag-isa. Pero kung nasa loob po ng platform, Sir Aljo, pati po platform kasama doon sa pinipinalize natin. Bahala po sila kung sino sa kanila ang magbabayad, pero kailangan po talaga nilang bayaran yung penalty.
TV5 welcomed TVJ and the Dabarkads for a lunch get-together on Wednesday. This is the Noontime Group's first time visiting the TV5 headquarters in Mandaluyong since leaving Tape Incorporated, the production company behind Itbulaga. They had a jam-packed day on Wednesday filled with interviews and photo shoots and lunch with TV5 executives. There are no details yet on what their new show will be called or when it will air. For now, TVJ and the Dabarkad said they are enjoying their new home in the Kapatid network.
Mga Dabarkads! Alas 12 na! Mga Dabarkads! Alas 12 na! Boss Posido, we're live now with the Dabarkads. O sige, mga Dabarkads, I hope masarap ang inyong lunch for today. At kami, ito, ini-enjoy namin ang first lunch with TV5 and pare.
And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.